What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, January the 4th, and that means it is my news radar. So there's been a news story that's gone around a little bit in the Surface Duo community, as well as being tweeted by the likes of MS Power User and websites like that, stating that there is a deal to be snagged wherein you could receive a Surface Duo for only $739. Now, this is from a website called CDW Deal, and in fact, if we jump over here and look at the article that MS Power User actually just wrote on January the 2nd, that's exactly what you're seeing here. There it is. Look, Surface Duo, $739, $660 off. They're referencing here a Surface Duo subreddit post where people have apparently reported having successfully purchased and received their units. Now, if true, this is a really, really big discount. So maybe if you're looking to purchase a Surface Duo and that regular price has just been too steep for you, maybe this is something worth looking at. However, I do want to point out one thing to you. This is not a surefire thing. If we look at a tweet here from Daniel Rubino, he talks about the fact that CDW sells bulk to other companies. This happened about a month ago, and I remember this popping up about a month ago, and many people who had ordered their Duo had that order canceled. And in fact, he shows a screenshot from the Surface Duo subreddit where someone says, I just spoke to someone from CDW. If you place an order, it will get canceled. The product is a demo unit and the price is only supposed to be available for quantities of 50 or more. So this is a bulk order for either companies that are going to sell them, companies that are, I don't know, they're going to deploy them or something. This is a bulk order only. Another Twitter user here says they order one from Insight.com and they're shipped. Rubino does here acknowledge that some people have had success with doing this. Some people have actually gotten their Duos. It seems to be very hit or miss, as he said. So maybe if you're looking to get a Surface Duo, you can give it a shot. Worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get an email that the order has been canceled and you're not going to get the thing. Oh well, no harm, no foul. So let's talk about Apple in terms of the whole folding phone aesthetic, the folding phone movement that we are now all sort of a part of in this world. After many rumors have come and gone, we are now seeing fresh rumors stating that 2 foldable iPhone prototypes have passed internal tests for durability. Now, this is pretty cool. So basically, we do know that Apple is testing out 2 different style folding iPhones. The interesting part here is that we're seeing a reemergence of a rumor that we initially saw from Jon Prosser back in, I think, June of 2020 that stated that one of the prototypes is not a folding OLED, but is in fact 2 separate OLED panels attached by a hinge folding in the middle. Now, that may sound familiar to you guys because that is, yes, exactly what the Surface Duo is. So WCCF Tech is reporting the first foldable iPhone that went under testing was a dual screen model. Hold 2 separate displays connected to a hinge in the middle. Jon Prosser referenced there, saying that the displays look fairly continuous and seamless. The second foldable prototype features a clamshell design like the Z Flip, so a normal phone that folds down to half size. I'm not seeing any reports of a Z Fold style folding iPhone. Now, maybe that's because later that will be a folding iPad or something more like that. Maybe that's just more of a phrasing thing, but I'm not seeing any reports of them even testing something more in that design. Now, if we jump over to Pocket Now, they actually have pulled that tweet from Jon Prosser. Apple's foldable isn't really a foldable, which I wholly disagree with. Jon Prosser has said this on multiple occasions that he doesn't think the Surface Duo is a true foldable. John, it folds. I don't know what your hang-up is there. It's not a folding screen, but it still folds. The current prototype has 2 separate display panels on a hinge, round stainless steel edges like the current iPhone 11 design, no notch, tiny forehead on the outer display that houses Face ID. That sounds a lot like a Surface Duo, and I actually would really love to see Apple do this, because if Apple makes a Surface Duo clone, it's going to legitimize the Surface Duo and might really help push things along in that regard. They also mentioned the other one having a clamshell design like the Z Flip or the Moto Razr. As we all know, Apple is rarely the first to do something, but when they do something, they do it in a very polished, well-designed, well-thought-out manner. And then from then on, everyone else then copies what they did, and everybody then pretends that they were the first one to do it. So if they did make a Surface Duo clone, everyone will hail them for being the first to think of some crazy multitasking, productivity, targeted iPhone, and everyone's going to love it, and they're going to talk about how great it is. But then we're going to get much more in terms of people jumping on the bandwagon for dual screen devices, which is a form factor that I love, and I would love to see more people use. I don't really care who gets credit for it. I just would like to see it happen. I'd love to know what you guys think about the idea of a dual screen iPhone. Is this something you'd be interested in? Do you welcome this kind of thing into the world? Let me know in the comments down below. And let's just wrap things up by talking about more folding phones. Xiaomi is a company that tends to make very inexpensive devices that are very good. And we have some more in the way of rumors, some schematics, some patents on what it looks like Xiaomi is working on. So if we jump over to MS Power User, once again, we have a look at two different style designs here. Apparently Xiaomi is testing a whole boatload of folding phone designs. We have one that reminds me of the Z Flip, small outside screen, big inside screen. We've got another that is a much larger outside screen, much more appealing to me, something you could use without opening it up, respond to text messages, emails, and so forth. Then you get a large screen with a chin on the bottom, which kind of reminds me in that regard to the Moto Razr. I'd say this is the Moto Razr design. This is the Z Flip design. You then have what you would call the Z Fold style ripoff design here. And you have a couple of different looks at something like that. They do appear to be using the fingerprint scanner on the side, according to that. This is really interesting, though, because here you've got an outside display that's a thin, narrow strip rather than a full, phone-sized screen on the outside. I'm not sure what you would want that for over that. Maybe to keep the price down, maybe to increase battery life, something like that. But that is a really interesting thing to try and do. At the end of the day, I also welcome Xiaomi to this folding phone world, because this is a company that's able to make a phone like the Mi 11, which have specs, maxed out essentially in many, many ways. And they're going to sell it for $650, which is fantastic. Absolutely crazy. So what could Xiaomi do in the folding phone space to make something really interesting, really unique, and not be super expensive? We've seen their experiments with the Mi Mix Alpha and things like that. So I know I've talked about them in the past, but more details here. I thought it was worth mentioning there as well. But guys, that does bring me to the end of today's news radar. Again, slow kind of news time. Hopefully things get ramped back up as we get away from the new year. Hopefully we have more coming. I got a lot more Surface Duo videos coming. I've got some kind of strange things in the works as well in terms of other hardware, some things that might be fun for you guys to watch. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the next news radar, which does come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And until then, stay nerdy, my friends.